For too long. I wanted to do a little bit of bonus painting tonight. We're actually doing two multi streams. We're going to see how this works. I'm not sure if my computer is going to destroy itself in the process. I'm kind of doing this as a test stream, so we're doing on YouTube and we're doing on Twitch, which I haven't done one of these in a while. So let's see. I'm on my Twitch stream now, but oh, Steam chat. Okay. Interesting. I don't know if I'm going to be able to respond in the chat. Well, I'll respond verbally, but yeah. So we are painting up or doing some 40K painting tonight. We did earlier today a stream of Lorcana. I didn't actually keep that up, so if you missed the live stream for Lorcana, then you did miss us on Box Lorcana. But I'm going to be doing a breakdown video of the Lorcana stuff, and we're obviously going to get ourselves on more. If you're not familiar, I'll do a little tease, and then we'll jump into some painting. But if you're not familiar with Lorcana, oh, what is going on? Why are there foil rares? Oh, because these are the intro decks. But yeah, so Lorcana is a Disney collectible card game that literally released this weekend. The pre-release was this weekend. They're going to be doing their full release in September. So just to give you guys a close-up of it, yeah, these are what the cards look like. The artwork of this game is amazing. I cannot wait to play this. It's great for people that are Magic, Magic veterans, because it plays a lot like Magic the Gathering for those folks that were big diehard Magic fans. But we did check out 2 of the starter decks, as well as we opened up 14 booster packs. It's pretty amazing. I actually was playing around. They actually have an app, which I love, which you can build decks in and do everything. It's like so cool. I'm super excited to play the game though. But anyway, in a few weeks, these sets, the cards will come out officially. My hope is to get my hands on a booster box. We'll do an unboxing of that. I actually got quite a large amount of the set, so I'm pretty excited about that. But we'll check it out. So anyway, I figured we'd do a little bit of bonus 40K painting. I was working on Tyranids, and for folks that have not stopped by the stream before, we were working a little bit on our custom orcs. So yes, this is a dreadnought that the orcs have hijacked and put extra bits on. We were working on that, and that's going to stand tall with my Space Marines and my Terminators, which I was bad and didn't prime any of them. So there's that. So I'm definitely going to have to get back on there. But I think we're going to work on the Tyranids. I was working on this Tyrant. And then I was also going to start working on the Leapers unit. So I have that queued up as well. And just so you guys can see, if you haven't seen our custom Terminators. But yeah, I did the Terminators as Orc Terminators. I did the Dreadnought as an Orc unit. So I am starting essentially a kill team, but also like campaign, something I could use potentially in a campaign for for whether it be a custom 40K campaign, or I'm gonna maybe use them as custom units in Marvel Crisis Protocol, because I have a multiverse campaign that I've been revving up to do and prepping models for. So a lot of really cool things on the horizons. I'm very, very excited. But without further ado, let's get back into our I was just about to say Termagants, which is not the correct thing for this. Tyranids is what I meant to say. Did I use Luxor purple on this? I feel like I did. Because I just realized underneath I didn't. Oh, I'm going to find out in a minute. Because I'll know by the way the purple is. Because that's the Margot's purple that I use for the back. So probably was the. Oh, I need my paper towel back, because I realized under here I didn't actually paint that in, and it's looking kind of weird with the inside. Oh, I didn't do it on the other side either. Usually if I forget to do something, I don't know if you guys are like that when you paint, but if I forget to do one side, I usually have forgotten to do the other side of something. So anytime I'm looking at my my painting, I always today was supposed to be the day that I did more priming, but I didn't. As always, I ran out of time. So I'm just touching up some areas. Already this guy looks awesome. I just have to really figure out a couple of things. Like what I'm going to do for the inside, which I have an idea of what I'm going to do. There's a little bit of details that I have to still work out with him. But for the most part, I'm very, very happy with it. I think we're going to do Skeleton Horde for the bottom part of him as well. So for the newer, I was saying this when we were painting or starting to paint this Tyranid, but my paint scheme for these guys is the sort of newer units or newer models. I'm using the Apothecary White for the base skin, and then I'm kind of using orange, red, and the Skeleton Horde for the armor plating. And the theory behind the why behind that is that I have said it multiple times as we've been painting, but my theory behind these guys is that the newer units, since these are all like newer Tyranid units, my theory is that the newer units were like made from like a newer batch of genetics. So it's like they're carrying that genetic code, and they're like a new brood of Tyranids. So it's like they're gonna have aspects of like a newer breed of Tyranids, but they're also gonna have the same aspect of like the traditional Tyranids. So when they're like newer, or as I would put them, the concept of younger, a younger generation, because they're newly born or newly created. That's why I have them like take on this different color scheme. And then for the like bigger, older units, so the theory being that they were older, so they didn't they had to survive and be around longer. For those guys, they have the more traditional Tyranid colors. All I'm doing now is just going around the model and really just fixing little imperfections that I had. So like I noticed just now when I came over here that there was a part of the armor I didn't paint, so I'm just going through and taking care of that. I noticed there's a part of the orange stuff I didn't paint. So I'm just kind of looking around and seeing like, okay, what needs my attention, what doesn't, and then I have to start mixing some. I have to start mixing some lighter tones for some of the other pieces. Oops, that I noticed. Why this is so light. Yeah, but I still have a lot. I still have. There's so many little details. I mean, he looks pretty good to begin with, but there's definitely like just little details that I left out, and you know, now also part of it is going to be coming in. Um, you know, coming in with null oil and other little details on here, because I have Jesus, I have noticed there's just some areas I could punch up a little bit higher. And like I said, there's just like little tiny areas that I'm like, oh, I could have done a little bit of a better job with that, because there's like just like a little like either white spot or like, because I've said it multiple times as we've been painting that like if you leave a lot of those little white areas, it always has like a negative connotation on your model. So I'm sorry guys, probably gonna paint for like an hour, but I'm just trying to get some stuff out there. I'm feeling like Sundays are a tough night for a lot of people. Like I think Sundays earlier is probably better, because like I feel like a lot of people, myself included, because that's why I can't be on for a little bit, probably prep, you know, probably are prepping for their the next week. You probably try to turn in earlier on Sundays. You probably don't want to stay up as late. So I get it. And for many people out there that I'm sure have the normal weekly grind, you guys probably paint earlier on the weekends if you even get to. I know that's always my struggle, is with the full-time gig, finding time to paint, which is one of the reasons, you know, I say it all the time when you guys are watching us, but if you are inclined and like what you see, consider following the channel, signing up for notifications. That's if you're on our Twitch side of things. If you're not and you're on the YouTube side of things, please consider following us, because I'm going to be starting to do diverging content. So we may, you know, some things may make it to YouTube, some things may make it to Twitch, because I'm going to start having a few different things popping up. So and also starting, and so as we get closer to October, now that Comic-Con has a little bit more of a gaming presence there, you may want to become a member of our Patreon, because I'm going to start putting, like I will, Comic-Con may be the first area where we'll have some fun, interesting content happening. So yeah, if you want to be on that, so I'm starting to do some null oil. So specifically where I want to start doing some null oil is in areas where I see either like imprints or little, because the Tyranids are fun. They have like these little vent pockets and like other little stuff that are on their models. So there's a lot of areas where you can really get into some Very cool. Oh, I realized I didn't even paint that. You know, you can really get into some fun areas, and then there's also stuff like the folds in the wings and just like other areas where you can really punch up. It's like this is a good area where like you can definitely do that. So these little like so you can bring those a little bit ahead with that with the null oil. And it's really just finding little I like to do these little gaskets because they're essentially like breathing. They're not breathing holes, but they're like somewhat important like areas for them. So like things like that. We always have those things on the back of the Tyranid. So I just like to do a quick run over of those because then the null oil kind of works its way into the holes, and they just become a little bit more visually impactful. Now this particular Tyranid, it's a little harder because there's a lot of stuff in the way of a lot of the details, so I'm kind of putting the detail in, but at the same time I'm being gentle with it because I have a lot of other aspects that I have to get done, and it's like kind of adding to it. But what I'm noticing is I don't think I did the apothecary white on everything, so I'm gonna have to go back and do some of that. And then the inside of the wings, I also didn't do those, so I'm gonna have to do some of that as well. But yeah, because I'm noticing like here now, I think I know the reason to the why I didn't do that, because I think I was still thinking about what I was going to do color wise for that. But you know, after reviewing the color scheme and what I'm going for, I actually think apothecary white is the right choice because there's so much color already happening on this guy, and there's so much going on in general on him as a model that I do think that the apothecary white will bring out a better amount of the detail than other things as a base. And then what I can do is, if I feel like there are forms that I still want to like pursue or change, I'll just let that dry, and then I can always put those in. Because I already have noticed there's some like shield plating that I didn't paint, so I'm gonna have to go and do that. But this apothecary white is a good backdrop for that, because then it'll let a lot of other things shine through and shine out. So let me get that done, and then I can kind of go back. And I totally get it. I totally get why I didn't do it, because I was like still at that time figuring out the paint scheme. So it's like, did I really want to do that? So like, here's a good example. I didn't do any of the front part because I was still trying to figure out, like, was I going to do that all in Skeleton Horde? Was I going to do it in another color? But I think the Skeleton Horde the apothecary white's a good choice because it goes up against that purple really well. So it's like, there's already a lot going on. Like, leave him simple, go basic. But I'm happy. I really do like the way he's come. Like there's a lot of good drama in there. So I'm just going in and just grabbing that coat of apothecary white, because like I said, I was still in the middle of like figuring out what I was gonna do. So yeah, and it's very funny how, because again, traditional Tyranids, usually when you saw their original paint sample, you know, it was all like bleach white. It was very like they had very white skin, very white everything. But as I've like noticed, I really like this like pale skin look that the Apothecary White does, because it gives it that slight tint of gray, but it's still kind of keeping them a little on that lighter side. So I kind of like that. I kind of like that aesthetic. So I've done that for all of my Tyranids, and that's the thing. Even though these are newer Tyranid models from the Leviathan box, I want to keep them in line with the other Tyranids that I have. So if there was ever a reason that I was playing all of them, or even, you know, maybe subbing or proxying stuff. Now, the other thing too that's nice about going the Apothecary White track is that if I change my mind as I'm painting, I can go over that Apothecary White with other colors so easily. So it's not at all a hindrance if I do that. So I actually really, that's why I'm like, ooh, let me go with that Apothecary White, because I really think it's going to be a good call and a good fit. And again, it's just going to help me because I can bring out all these other colors and forms very easily too. Okay, hold on. Let me see what we got going on here. Sorry for the big ding, guys. Let me see what's up. Sorry. Sorry. Managing too many things at once. The story of my life. Alright. I do like what's happening, but I'm noticing there's like a weird... I don't know. I'm going to have to work with doing what I did on the Screamer Killer. I think I'm going to have to play around with... let's see what I can do here. I think I'm going to have to play around with doing some lighter highlights or textures on these on the armor plating, because not that it looks bad, it's just that I'm noticing it has like a weird it has like a weird texture on it, and I don't know why lately. I've said this before, I think the new priming formula that they're using has like, I think it's just that there was like weird temperatures when I primed a lot of this stuff, because we keep having these like heat waves and stuff. So technically the where I'm priming and where I'm spray painting, it's not controlled temperatures. So I think that it was just maybe too warm where I was priming, and I think it made the aerosol can not apply everything evenly. So I think I'm getting like a weird texture on my model sometimes. which is not terrible, but it makes me get annoyed because sometimes if I try to blend on top of it, you see some of that texture. So I'm gonna work with it, but so far it looks pretty good. I'm noticing there's like there's some variation, but for the most part it looks pretty good. A lot of what I'm doing is just like damage control on like a few different things. So and I'm also having a conversation. This is like so much stuff at once. All right, let's see what we got. So what do you guys think? Anybody have any comments, thoughts out there? Are you guys liking the model? Do you like the look? Alright, so let's work on the wings a little bit. I'm going to do some null oil tricks while I figure out how or what I'm going to do for the inside. But let's... So now I'm just going to do some null oil in some of these cracks. So I like to do... so you guys have probably seen, I like to, like... So what I normally do is I normally do shading with the same color, so that essentially the shadows have that same color but darker inside of them. And then I'll go in with the null oil and I'll let it pool. The theory behind the why I do this is because what it will do is it'll shift the color to a darker color usually, so then that underlaid color will look even better. So it'll look like it'll create a natural shading. So then usually what'll happen is the as you'll see here, the pooling or the recess area will get the darkest black, but the rest of it will not look black. And I usually also, as you guys are seeing now, I like to take null oil and just let it, just brush it into the crevice areas. So just washing on top of it, and you'll see that dramatic difference when you do that, because instantly what's going to happen is all of the usually all of that detail will come back, and then I'll take the null oil and create a pattern of shading. So now in those crevices or in that corner there's a nice dark shade there, but then it kind of comes out to a normal shade, and so it's this transition of color that really makes a huge difference in the model. And you can see how it really hugs to those dark areas, but it's now darkening the color that's there. So that's why by putting that dark tone underneath, that undertone, it really helps to sell the rest of that. So yeah, so it's like a two-tone trick, because you'll see, like when I do my, so you guys probably noticed when I was doing my my paint overs, or my my shading painting, I go a little wider with it, and that's part of why I do that. I go wider with it so that when I come back with the null oil, you'll get a recessed black, and then you'll get is anybody out there? Tonight I just kind of went right in and started talking about my stuff, but obviously if you are working on some really cool projects on your painting table, I'd love to hear about those too. I'm just talking through what we're doing here, but since we're only gonna really like, I'm only gonna stay on for a little bit longer. Um, but you guys can see just how vibrant that looks and how vibrant it gets when you really stick to that method and get like a good, nice shading in there. And then once we do the highlights on the armor, which I may or may not get to do tonight, you'll really see this model start to pop. But yeah, new favorite technique is using the contrast paints with washes on top. Works wonders and gives you such a cool feel. Again, like I said, guys, most of why I'm painting right now, I just wanted to do a little test of the multi-stream, see what we get on YouTube, what we get on Twitch, and just kind of like start to do it. And also, I'm going to try to bring you guys some bonus videos because I don't know how. I mean, we should be on our normal times, but I may run into some snags next week because it's just going to be a rough next week. This week, I might run into some snags, so I hopefully will get to do every one of our shows. But I know it's just going to be a tough week because it's going to be a little bit of a different week schedule-wise. So yeah, I do apologize up front for that because it may result in us having just some slight challenges, and I may start late, I may not start completely on time. I don't think we won't be able to do all of our shows, but there's definitely going to be a moment somewhere where it may get harder for me to do that. I don't know. So I'm gonna, I want to give you guys as much bonus stuff as I can, which is why I did 2 videos today. I have to edit the Lorcana one, which is why that's not up. There was a technical issue halfway through the video, so now I have to edit that and get that out of there. So mostly just so it's coherent, because to make a long story shorter, I had a little bit of a intruder on my stream, so intruder, that's like a terrible way to say that. Basically, I am not, my family's in the house when I stream, so it's like I got interrupted in the middle of the stream, and so I want to just edit out that part because I got like properly frightened. So it was a pretty big reaction, and so I just want to edit that out. And unfortunately, the member who interrupted me doesn't want to be on the internet, so I have to take them out of the video. So when that happened, obviously for the live audience, they got to see the person, but now I have to edit them out of the video. So it will not be on YouTube, which was the plan, because of that. So I have to do some now video editing, which I just didn't have time to do today because I was working on a bunch of other stuff. I was working on our merch. I was working on so I'm so much closer to getting us to the point where hopefully I can get some stickers and t-shirts going. But unfortunately, I had to do some work on that project, and that took up a lot more of my time today. So just doing the same treatment that I did on the armor on the top. So I'm going to do this null oil trick on everything, so that we get a dark undertone for the armor plating. And then when I do the highlight, it's going to really, really pop, because we'll have a nice level of contrast for that stuff. So I'm just doing, again, just some shadowing. But I'm very happy with how he's coming out. I'm going to try some. See what happens when we just pre-null oil this. Just so that midsection gets a little darker. Because I don't really want to like drench it in null oil, but I don't want to like paint it with another color, because it's so like not seen. So as long as it's like a base gray, which it kind of already was, I'm happy with that. So I might leave that way, just to give it a little bit more character. Well, I hope you get, and I also hope that you guys really liked or will like, if you're watching the video after the fact, once it's edited. I hope you guys do like the Lorcana stuff that we did. I promise we'll have more videos, more live videos of that. Because I do plan on making more videos on opening more packs, and eventually us playing and really kind of going after the just the game itself, and learning more about it and doing all those things. So I'm looking forward to it. Just gonna put a little bit more Apothecary White on this. My feeling is that I didn't actually paint this with Apothecary White, because I was like looking at it and I'm like, it's very, very white, and I'm like, I don't think I actually like painted that with Apothecary White. So that's a shame on me. And then once that dries, I can put a little bit in there. Yeah, we're gonna push some highlights on this, because definitely right now, it's screaming for some highlights. It's a little too like mid-toned right now, and that's the crazy thing about the Apothecary White. It's like the Apothecary White's great, but it again, it is it is just giving it that slightly gray tint. It's not like super over the top gray. And like I was saying, there's just so much going on with so many forms in the way of where you're trying to go. So like, you know, when you really look at it and you look at the model, there's like the wings are in the way, the this is in the way. So it there's just a lot that adds up to like what is like pouncing and blocking you from like doing this next thing. So you really have to look at your model and look at what's like in where you're painting. So there's just a lot to take in. But I never thought I'd have like so much fun painting Tyranids, but I really am having a good time. They're fun. I like that they're like unique and they have, you know, I think what I really stands out for me for them is their organic shapes. Like I really love the just the organics on them because they are, you know, like a genetically you know, they're these genetic alien monsters, and it's like, so they have a whole like feel to them that makes them like super unique, super different. And I'm really digging that. I really love that. Oh man, thanks for the raid. That is dope. Thank you all for coming. We're doing some Tyranid painting with some low buzz music. Our world music, to be exact. But yeah, we're painting up some Tyranids from the Leviathan box. Getting to that point. Thank you for the raid. Thank you. Very nice. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's coming out good. I don't think I'm gonna get to the Leaper today. I was gonna try to do two, but we're probably gonna. We'll talk more about our custom orcs in a minute. I'm gonna give this like one shot of some Margot's purple, and then I'm gonna jump over to that custom dreadnought that I'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. I was gonna say, unfortunately, the VOD isn't up, but we were. I did open up some Lorcana. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that collectible card game that just pre-released this weekend, but we did take a spin to learn a little bit more about it. I did that earlier today, though. That was that now. And just as a reminder, if you guys are down for 40K stuff, Thursday nights is our official night for 40K, but I tend to throw some custom stuff on Wednesdays too. So, and I was going to say, for anyone that's rating and likes what they see, consider following the channel, signing up for notifications. We're always here. I usually paint minimum 4 times a week, but I'm going to try to be doing more frequent stuff. And we're going to have a lot of different content coming your way. So I want to do more of my regular art stuff too, not just my painting stuff. But yeah, this is a custom dreadnought that I made. So I had the crazy idea to take all the Space Marine stuff from the Leviathan box and make custom space orcs. So they are literally orcs that stole Space Marine armor. And I made custom models using green stuff, kit bashing, and whatnot. So, but here is the dreadnought, the dreadnought, yeah, the dreadnought that came in the Leviathan box. I don't play Space Marines, so I thought this was a fitting use for this model. And yes, that is a grot that's been hardwired into the dreadnought, so he is now a machine of death. And you can see the orcs have customized and painted this thing as orcs would do if they had access to Space Marine technology. We're going to be making more and more of these, so I'm going to be getting some grot units and pieces, and we're going to be doing more stuff. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna try. Wait a minute. Was this Space Wolf Gray? Did I use that? Here, I'll know in a minute. Yes. So I use Space Wolf Gray on this. So if I use Space Wolf Gray on him, then I got to use. Then I have to use. I want to use Griffin Charger Gray on the other stuff. That's not where that goes. That's where that goes. Yeah. So I want to use Griffin on the wiring. So we'll have a little bit more contrast. So what's everybody else working on? Oh, we lost a few people. They jumped ship. Was my painting that bad? I'm sorry. I'll try to do better. I know. I'm so hard on myself. I really am. I put too much water in there. I always do that. I'm always like my own worst critic. I'm like, oh my god, I'm terrible. No, seriously though, guys, what are you all working on? What are the masses out there doing? Has anybody like started like a new faction? Are they new to the game? Like they just came in on the new edition? Or are you checking and scoping things out so you're trying to figure out what is my what will be your first faction? Don't be shy. We're all friends here. I was gonna say I know most of you are probably I say it all the time, but I know most people usually are like actually trying to paint while they're talking to me. Daughters of Cain tonight. All right, Daughters of Cain. That's dope. I've thought of doing them. Of doing that that faction. In general, I have too many models, so I have to. That's one of. It's funny. I feel like I'm quoting Biker now because Biker said this when I watched his stream. He was talking about how he got all of these models, and then the goal was, or like the Shadow Queen the other week. Very nice. He was talking about how he got all these models, and it's like I can only paint the next thing if I get these models. So I'm gonna try to follow suit on that, and really try to push myself to finish projects before I buy more. Although it's kind of an occupational hazard because being that I now stream and paint so often, I kind of need some of it I do need to buy because I have to actually paint it. So and tomorrow night we're going to be doing some more we're going to be doing some more Star Wars stuff. Of which I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to get Grievous primed before our stream tomorrow, which I did not do today. I ran out of time today. So I'm going to have to figure that out. But I will figure that out. Oh wow, these guns are like so nestled in there. I'm just trying to get my paintbrush in there to like. Oh, I think I've painted this whole thing red, so I'm just gonna paint this whole thing red. Nah, I got red on the part I didn't want to paint red. But yeah, I'm excited to paint General Grievous tomorrow. Well, actually, we have to finish Anakin, and then we can paint Grievous, but. Yeah, because tomorrow we're going to paint some Star Wars Shatterpoint stuff. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you if you're just joining us. This is a dreadnought that is being customized by the orcs. So it is a dreadnought stolen from the Space Marines and spray painted to look like, well, I kind of, orcs like to customize their stuff. If anybody is in the same bracket as me on time on this planet, I was gonna say that was if anyone could tell me the reference for that, feel free. As you guys can see, it is the Leviathan kit, so it's snap together stuff. But I did leave the snap together stuff like not glued for that reason, so I could like pull off pieces to paint. Because I've said it a lot of times, but I can't do the assembly painter thing. I know people out there can do that. I can't. I need the model to be together while I'm painting it. But I find that this like hybrid where I can pull off the pieces when I want to paint is actually pretty good. Because then I can get it off, get into some hard to get areas, and really figure out what I want to do. So I actually do like it. So all I'm really doing now is just touching up stuff, and then I'm going to figure out a couple of other areas, but there's definitely a few areas here that I just need to get in there, and then I'm going to kind of work on some of the guns and mechanics. But this dreadnought is actually on its way to being finished, so what do you guys think? You guys liking the... I know everybody on the channel has really been like really, really loving this whole idea of the orc conversions of the Space Marine stuff. I don't know what you guys think, especially if you just joined us. And I was gonna say, do not be shy. I love feedback from people. I love other people's thoughts. I've said it a couple of times. I actually have taken. We've had a couple of times where on stream you guys have given like some cool suggestions, and I've definitely taken them. And some of my models have looked so much better because I took those suggestions. So. But yeah, this is, again, an orc dreadnought, and they've taken a grot and shoved him into the, like, literally hardwired him into the dreadnought. I assumed it would just make him explode, but I thought that was too comical and too funny to pass up, so I was like, I'm doing this. Yeah, so all of this has been like the level of absurdity one would expect from, from an orc faction stealing Space Marine tech. Now, if you guys are wondering, I didn't have any, like, Gretchen models that I could kit bash into this. So this is actually an AOS model that I just threw in there because I was like, it sort of works. He's got like, he himself has put armor, like an armor helmet on, which I thought kind of worked well. It's kind of absurd, which I think also, sort of works well. So that the absurdity kind of continues with it. And also, what do you guys think, for anyone that hasn't been here for a minute, about the new logo on the lower left-hand corner? And also, what do you guys think of the top-down cam I'm really liking this angle better because now I can comfortably work on the model and you guys can always see what I'm working on. I think the old angle I had was not good. This angle I think is so much better. I'd love to hear what your feedback is out there. And if you've never given us feedback before and you're new to the channel, consider following the channel, signing up for notifications so you know when we are live. I usually paint we paint at least 4 times a week here. My goal is to actually start going on every day of the week, so I'm going to try to start being on. We're not going to always be just painting, but I'm going to try to be on more frequently. Specifically also bumping up to maybe at least 1 or 2 streams on the weekend. But I'm trying. But yes, this is a custom dreadnought that has been hijacked by the Orc army. It's essentially making Orc Space Marines. That's what we're working on right now. So yes, I took the wonderfully new Dreadnought model from the Leviathan box and I custom bashed the heck out of it to make this thing that you see in front of you. No, I'm hitting. And as you can see, we have the Dreadnought. I'm just going to let it dry for a sec. Which has a Gretchen hardwired into it with additional like battery and hardware support. Then I made a wonderful unit of space orcs. So these are pirate space orcs. So orcs that have stolen Space Marine tech. So they all have power fists, and they all have, some of them have, the captain has a power sword, and obviously a sash, and you can see they've checkered and painted over the armor in their own orky way. And then last but not least, we have the Terminator orc unit. So I've customized the Terminators, adding some extra parts, running some extra wires, essentially as if they rewired the Terminator armor. One of my favorites is this guy, where they rewired all the guns into the Terminator armor, and they even stabbed the Space Marine in the back to take him out. So they created entire not only do they have some orc weapons that I mounted as Terminator armor also, but they've added like different scraps to the Terminator armor as well. So I'm going to give that a moment. So you can see this one, they put an entire battery pack and wired it into there. So we will get these primed, but I have a whole unit of Terminators. And my goal is to get some Gretchen, and then we're going to do some really cool stuff with the Gretchen. We're going to have just like insane like Pain Boy Gretchen experiments. So I'm intrigued. I don't know what to do with this back panel. I wanted to I want to do something interesting, so I don't know why I had them put like some green paint on it, but I'm like, I kind of want them to have bling in there like they did with the gun. I was like, made the gun gold as if they put some gold on the gun. But I feel like it just needs to be like a basic color. I don't think it needs to be like anything crazy. Maybe I'll just do lead belcher and make it silver as if they painted on top of the silver, which kind of makes sense for orcs. What do you guys think? Anybody have any thoughts? I was gonna say, if you want to see us complete the rest of these units, definitely consider following the channel and signing up for notifications. Because we're gonna be doing a lot more stuff. Because not only do I paint Warhammer stuff, but we do Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff. We do Shatterpoint stuff. Going to be working more towards some kit bashing and custom models. My goal is to get into some 3D rendering. So we're going to start doing, which is I'm really excited about this, but I'm going to be using VR to do some like sculpting, and I think I'm gonna start streaming some of that, which I think will be really cool. So I want to get into a little bit more in the weeds with that, and then we'll get there. And also, there's just gonna be a lot of other really cool content. So yeah, even some potential like skit-based content. So there'll definitely be some really fun videos. That's why even the YouTube channel, you want to make sure that you subscribe to that too, because I will start to put more than just archive videos on there. Actually, the Lorcana, for anyone that's interested in card games or collectible card games, we did a whole unboxing of a bunch of Lorcana stuff. Because the Lorcana game, if you're not familiar with it, it's basically Disney getting into a collectible card game. So it is Magic quality, and Magic quality mechanics, but the cards are all like Disney characters. So it's it actually has some feels to me as like a Kingdom Hearts almost, or kind of putting us in shooting territory for something like that. So I'm excited to start playing that game, and I wouldn't be lying if I didn't say I'm excited to collect all the cards, because I'm a huge Disney fanatic. So, and since this is a lot more in that like Kingdom Hearts vein, it's definitely piqued my interest. It's done by Ravensburg Games. You might know those folks from. They make a lot of board games. You probably have, like, if you've ever been to like Barnes and Noble or even Target, or like, I mean, even also like if you have a gaming store in your area, you probably have seen many of their games on the shelf. They have like a lot of IP related games. And I mean that's part of why that's why Disney kind of partnered with them for a card game, because they already have so many Disney board games that they do. I want to say, I think this is their first like collectible card game though. I don't think they've ever done one of them. So, which for the first set, and from what I've seen so far, I'm impressed. The cards are good quality, you know. And it looks like there could be some complexity to the game. What I like about it is it's got the simple rule set, but it's like, I know I'm not talking about like painting Warhammer models. I'm talking about a collectible card game, but yeah, it's definitely got, like, what I like about it is it has the simple rule set in, but it still is like dynamic. So. I'm going to let these just dry for a sec, but I'm very happy where all of these have gotten to. So, obviously have to do some more highlights on the Tyranid, but I really, really like the way that this paint scheme is going. Again, this newer paint scheme I really love, and the idea is that in my Tyranid world, they're all like new generation, so they're like a mixture of the new and the old, and then like the younger, newer units are all going to be like really colorful. So You can see the warrior painted up here. But using the same colors. But you can see I'm going to like do... So on the field, there's always like a bunch of color, because every unit's going to have like different colors. So all my warriors are going to have different colors. All my like... And then anything that's like a newer unit that's part of this new hive is going to be this hybrid of like the old Tyranid paint job with this like new scheme that I came up with. Oh man, I'm fading fast, my friends, fading fast. I know we were only going to be on for a little bit, but I don't want to go because you guys have been it's so awesome that you rated me, and I don't want to like... I hate streamers that do that. People raid and then they're like peace out, and they get out of their stream. I'm like, well, you just had all these people show up. Like, you know, be a gracious host. You know, if a bunch of people showed up to your house, what would you do? Say tough luck, you all gotta go home? That's not the right way to be. I thank you guys for raiding and sticking around, because so many of you did stick around. I bet everybody's like probably off tomorrow. I have to go to work, so as much as I would like to stay longer, I probably can't stay too much longer. But I do appreciate it. And the secret to being able to come back and seeing more of what we do, and the conclusion, is to make sure that you guys follow and are signed up for notifications, so you know when we're live and back streaming. So if you can take the moment to do that, you absolutely should. You can also check out our About page. There's a lot of other social links, and all of our website information and everything. So please feel free. I'm gonna take this gun off to make it easier to paint. I was gonna say, don't hesitate to check out our other social media platforms. And there's even our there's the tip/donation button, and there's also our Patreon, which I promise by middle of this week we'll have more stuff on it. I apologize to anyone who might have been thinking of jumping on the Patreon but saw it had very little, because I've just been uber busy and I can't get certain things finished, but I will. Oh no, I don't know why my camera just decided to flip out on me. But what I was going to say before that crazy stuff happened with my camera was also today was a big step towards merch. So eventually I'm hoping to have some t-shirts. Wait, what? Oh, morning. I guess that is true. I was like, what? But that is accurate. That is accurate for my time zone, and I'm guessing yours. I'm like, morning what? Well, good morning to you as well. I'm just painting this wonderful weapon and just deciding what I want to do. So we're working on our wonderful custom dreadnought. I know you said morning. I'm gonna try to. My goal is to maybe finish most of this gun, and then I'm probably gonna head off for the night. But or for the day, because as you put it, it is morning for me, and I do have to actually get up for work tomorrow. So, or more accurately, today. So, I should have started this stream a little earlier, but I had a couple of other little things to connect on with some people, so that took precedent over me doing a bonus painting video. So, because we were also live before doing, as I was explaining, the new Lorcana card game. So, since I was able to get my hands on some stuff for the pre-release, so we were able to open up some packs and took a look at some of the theme decks, which was a lot of fun. I really liked it. I'm really interested in this new card game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It plays a lot like Magic: The Gathering, so we'll definitely have more of it as we progress. And the fact that it is Disney related is going to, I know, be a big selling point for me. And I like that, as I was saying before, that it's like kind of has that feel like almost like a Kingdom Hearts kind of feel to it. We're also simul streaming this, so we're gonna see how that goes. So some of this stream is also kind of a stress test. Although, don't really have to stress test for too much longer because I actually have a new computer coming, so that should solve a lot of my momentary hiccups with some of the equipment failure I've had over the time that I've been streaming. So, what's everybody else working on? Anything in particular? I'm using Lead Belcher now. I was using Space Wolf Gray before. I'm doing a bad job of saying the paints that I'm using because I'm just like, not speed painting, but I'm definitely trying to paint this a little faster. I am enjoying painting this Dreadnought, so I don't know why I'm trying to speed it up, but I am. I think part of it is because I know that I have the other Marines to paint and the Terminators to paint, so I'm like, just some Caradron Overlords for my next upcoming tournament. Oh, Caradron Overlords. I like those guys. I actually have a model from them that I was going to paint on the channel, which I have not done yet. Is it, am I lying? I don't think it was this year's. I think it was last year's commemorative model, which was the guy with the big keg on his back. That is a faction I thought about getting into, because I am a big dwarf fan, but I did not pull the trigger and go for it. There were other factions I decided I was going to potentially devote time to, but I still think they're really cool models. Well, I wish you luck on the tournament. They are a good competitive team, so they're a good competitive army, especially at AOS because they're all about like shooting. So it's like they're not that they're cheap, but it's definitely I would say it's definitely exploiting the fact that they really GW really hasn't. I wouldn't say that GW has really done much to address that at AOS, but I mean they did do stuff to them to make them like less overbearing than they were, but because they definitely you know, in the new updates, they definitely changed how the ships work, so that they're not as like beefy overpowered, but they're still they're still pretty devastating. So, but you know, fair is fair, man. If you're playing it, like because I play Legions of Nagash. And I remember everybody always used to give me a little bit of like evil eye for that. If you're playing something that the game allows to happen, like well, yeah, now they are a low model count, but and see that's what I meant by they did things to change them, but the fact that they have shooting, it really depends on how you build your list. But because they do have like obviously shooting, I mean when I say that they can be a tough army for AOS or they're a good competitive army is that depending on how you build your list, if you really like exploit their shooting aspect and you kind of like stack it in that way, um, if you focus too much on missile troops, you get smoked if you're charged. Correct. That's what that. Oh, jeez, did I just break part of this? Um, that was kind of where I was going. What I was going to say, which is it's a fine line. It's a balance, absolutely. Um, and like I said, part part of what was overbearing about them, GW did kind of fix it, which was it was more about the ships, and the way you could use the ships. That was the original like really overpowered thing about them was because the way you could do things with the ships that was a little bit too much at the beginning, but now like I said they've adjusted them so they're not like they used to be. And then also like because they did this with a lot of places, they also like changed the way that their buffs work because they overall changed how the buffs work. So that too, I think, was another original issue with them was the way that certain things would stack, but they don't do that anymore. So GW did sort of address part of the problem. But originally, you know, you could definitely. But you're absolutely right. If you kind of play them, if you don't play them well and don't play them right, you can get like really overtaken by an army quick. Because you're right. If they have no, if you don't really like focus on any short melee stuff, or combat stuff, then if somebody gets to you, if you only focus on the shooting, then like you're done. Because then you're right. They all like the Karajan overlords like fall apart. If you don't have anything that's gonna like stand up against the melee attack. And that's part of what I. Oh, nice. Hold on, let me just get this, and then we can take a look at them, and I'll let this dry. Let me just do. I like that. I like that you posted them up. Oh, I didn't. Really? Oh. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Oh, it's gonna make me like. Please don't make me do that. Okay, there we go. Do that later. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just, as always, trying to do too many things at once. Alright. Don't everybody leave. I will get back to painting, I promise. Missed just some minor details on. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Hello there. We're just taking a look at some painting stuff. Okay. Oh, I didn't know I had the Safari open. Okay. There you go. So, this is our buddies Karajan Overlords, which I will show off. Let me just get the scrolling happening so I can be a good host here. That's awesome. I really like those. Just watch. My browser's going to be acting like a weirdo. Let me see. All right. Yeah. Very cool. Oh, and there you go. There's the Brigade. Okay. Well, dance. Very good. Very good. I like it. Yeah, they look super mechanical. I like that your guys look a little bit more like ancient mechanical, which I think is really cool. So I like that they have like a. Yeah, I like the frigate. I just like that they look older. They almost look like more older clockworky suits of armor, which is kind of cool. So what we're working on for newcomers is I'm working on a custom dreadnought that is essentially orcs have stolen a dreadnought and a shoved a Gretchen inside of it, or when I say shoved, they've wired him to it, hardwired him into it, and now he is a killing machine, essentially. Um, so essentially, I created my own, let's call it MODOK for the for my Marvel fans out there. I created my own MODOK for the 40k universe, which is essentially what this thing is. So that concept of like, you know, hardwiring yourself into, you know, assassin machinery. I don't particularly know how a grot would do if they were hardwired into a dreadnought. Oh, nice. That's gonna be exciting. So, like, are you? Is it like a? Did you? Are you like away? Like, are you? Like you? Like, did you have to travel for this tournament, or is this a local tournament you're going to, or? Because you said that you're trying to finish them to enter a tournament, or is this not the tournament? This is just you like having fun and casual playing to practice. Because you were saying, I thought you were saying that you were getting them ready for a tournament, so I was like, a match practice. Okay, cool. I was gonna say, because if you're trying to get the tournament ready, I was gonna say, if you're trying to go tournament ready and you're like, and you're painting them tonight, I'm like, oh, that sounds like an all nighter painting sesh. Which I've had those. I've definitely had those. And I've had them both for myself, and I've had them for, you know, other commission work I was doing. Because I was like, oh crap, I got to get this commission done. For a similar vein, the person was trying to enter into a tournament, and I had like a tight deadline, and then like the deadline got pushed back because I couldn't get materials and stuff. It was really bad. Today I have my first match with that list. Tournament ready, they are. But I'm not. I got you, okay. Well, yeah, it's always tough, especially if, you know, especially if it's a new faction, you haven't necessarily played with them before, you're still getting used to the list, you know, yeah, absolutely. That could be tough, you know. But it's good that you're, you know, it's good that you're testing it out. My opponent will play his tournament list. Freaking ogres. Yeah, ogre. That's. I was gonna say ogres are a fan favorite. That is an army I have to finish. That's another army that I have sitting. They're not even built yet, which is the real bad part. Over the holidays, I definitely bought the ogre mob tribes, and I definitely did not build them nor do anything with them yet. So they are very much in my pile of shame. I need to finish but I'm in the mood to build and paint. To That's exactly how I am. I can completely relate to that. I'm gonna do some Griffin Charger Grey to finish off this other gun bits. I do that stuff all the time where, like I'm really trying to push my Sons of Behemoth army, which we're gonna work on this week again. But like I can feel myself when I work on them. I sort of say the same thing to myself. I'm like, oh, like I want to work on this, but you know what? I I kind of wish I would work on, and I would like find other things to try to work on. But I got, I have to get, I want to get it done because we're so, like, I've never been this close to finishing them. But what's a little unique about that army is that they're all, um, they're all custom giants. So it's like some of the GW giants, but the majority of the models in that unit are from all different walks of life and all different. Some of them are from different games. They're not all GW models, so that has been challenging because I have a lot of different ideas of how I want to paint them, and the real goal with that one is that they're all. I'm trying to make them all different giants from different realms. So I have like an ice giant, I have like a fire giant, I have like kind of an undead giant. So it's like all the giants have like they're sort of coming from all these different realms, and my storyline for that is just that they're the behemoth's awoken, and if the new city book, ooh, hold on, wait, I want to read that. Let me just finish this thought, and then I will read your comment. That's another faction that I like. Cities of Sigmar. I like really want to get that. I wanted to get the old book, but I know they're going to redo them. And then my brain sort of stopped wanting to do that army when they started to talk about the old world stuff. Because I was like, maybe I should wait because maybe there might be things that are cross compatible with things. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen for them. If the new city book and minis come out before the tournament starts and I have to submit my list, I'll build and paint them. Oh, you would use... Wait, hold on. But Karajan Overlords, aren't Karajan Overlords like their own faction? Or did I miss something? And now they're only in the Cities of Sigmar book. Did they become part of the Cities of Sigmar book? It makes sense if they did. And they just like are not their own faction anymore, so they don't have their own books, so they didn't have to make more models for them. Because that... Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's... Okay. That's what I thought. I mean, when you say Cities of Sigmar are their own faction, they are, but they are also... So, Cities of Sigmar, obviously, but I really like the new range of the City of Sigmar figures. Alright, I have to look at them then. I don't know if I know them. Am I, like, losing my mind? Is there, like, a massive update to them? Like, they really have changed? Or is it just the same ones? Because I gotta look. Because essentially because Cities of Sigmar, I mean, they did make new models to go with them, but the real idea behind them was this is why I was hesitant to start playing them, because what it feels like is that they introduced them. Because the whole idea of why they introduced them is because Cities of Sigmar, they do have new units, or they did have new units when they showed up, but the real reason was so that they could put back into circulation a lot of older fantasy units. Because that's how, like, because until that faction came about again, or not again, because it was created, there were no, because that was what was always missing from Sigmar, was they didn't just have like regular, humans and dwarves and whatnot. So that was that was what Cities of Sigmar was. So that in turn let them bring back all of the some of the older units from Fantasy that had gotten were not were not part of the Age of Sigmar change. And then once they started talking about Old World, which I will look at them now. Once they started talking about Old World, I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do Cities of Sigmar because I feel like they're gonna do something where they'll start making maybe like more like universal models that can be played in both games. So like if you pick like a human or dwarf faction in those games, it may be cross compatible, so it could be played in Age of Sigmar, but under that faction. So I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant to start that faction, only because I feel like I'm gonna get to the point where I'm gonna be like, damn, now I want this faction, but like then I'm gonna box myself into a corner and be like, crap, now I can't do this other faction because I don't know, because GW will make some sort of crazy situation where I have to buy like twice as many models somehow, even though I'm gonna play both games. Because I'm super praying that if that is true, that they will that they'll either make it so there's like converter bases, so you can go from round bases to square bases. Or just in general, they're not gonna. Oh no! Did I do Space Gray on this side? No, I did not. Yeah, I don't want to go through that headache where it's like, oh, now I've made it, so I have to like rebuy a bunch of crap. Because GW loves doing that to you sometimes. I know, I've just been painting this gun off of this model for like the last 20 minutes. But yeah. Because I'm going to tell you, I am 100% ready for Old World, because that's essentially them bringing back Fantasy, which is super dope and awesome. So I'm like totally down for that, and I'm totally down for the fact that I'm gonna get Tomb Kings back. Like it's a good day. A faction that I am so missing, and loved their models, and now seeing just the glimpse of the few, the one or two models that they've previewed, I'm like super down. I'm like, they look good. They look, they look like the factions that I know, but at the same time, they also have that like new updated, nice look, because obviously a lot of those factions had models that are pretty rough by today's standards. So since they were all made like a while ago, when you really start to think about all of the you start thinking about all of the models that are in Fantasy, and like the timelines for them, like, yeah, some of those models were really old. So I'm like super happy that GW is acknowledging that like that stuff needs to be updated. You know, on top of the fact that they're creating a whole new edition of fantasy, so we're getting, you know, that fantasy setting, that regiment fighting, but we're getting it with new rules, so I'm happy. Sorry, I just went on like a tirade on fantasy and my like potentially aged views on that subject, because I just loved fantasy. I really loved playing it. Not that I don't love Age of Sigmar, because I do, and I love Age of Sigmar's regiment, small squad based, and like more of that 40k feel. But I don't know. Fantasy just had a place in my heart a little bit. Yeah, fantasy definitely had that place in my heart. Oh wow, I've gone for 2 hours. Oh Jesus! All right, I'm gonna do this last little bit, and then I'm probably gonna say sayonara to everybody, because I just realized what time it is. Oh, I all night I've been doing that. I just noticed the back of this. Well, probably because now I actually took it off. Because oh, there's some silver I have to paint too. Because I didn't have it off when I painted it the last time, so I'm seeing all the places that I missed on the wiring for the gun. And now I'm noticing that there's definitely some areas that I have to go back and redo, like everything else that I paint on this thing. So I'm gonna let that dry, and then we'll have to pick this up, I guess. But let's take a look with it on. I know it's not fully touched up, but I'm definitely liking how this dreadnought is coming out. I think all those mechanic choices were really good. There's definitely a couple of touch-ups I'm gonna have to do on there. I haven't figured out what I want to do with the purity seals yet. Because basically, for anyone at home that's wondering, I basically built the dreadnought, cut out a huge chunk of it there, added obviously green stuff for the cabling, made a kind of a sculpted box up there, just threw some green stuff that kind of works well because it looks like a lot of wire mesh, like they just like folded some stuff in there to get him in the dreadnought. Obviously did a custom paint job, so it looked like they painted a face on it, kind of giving it that Killacan feel, just kind of in a more crude way. But I really, really like how this is coming out. It definitely looks in line with the rest of the paint schemes that I'm going to be doing. Then we also worked on the Tyrannid tonight. I think this is coming out beautiful. We're going to work on more Tyrannids on Thursday. So we're probably going to work on more Wednesday custom stuff, which is awesome. And then tomorrow we're going to be doing General Grievous. And you guys can see how I did Anakin from Star Wars. We're going to keep working on this. Got to get the face done and everything else done, his lightsaber. But already like how the shading and that came out. So we're definitely going to be working more on that. So Monday will be more Star Wars Shatterpoint things. So Atomic Mass game models. I don't think I'll have any Marvel stuff, although I might throw in some other fun things for our multiverse campaign. And then again, reminder, we paint Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but I'm going to start doing Friday and at least one weekend video, which maybe some more painting. It might be art related stuff. It might be some other things, reviews, card opening or box openings or unboxing things. we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna do some stuff. But if you like what you saw, please consider following the channel, signing up for notifications, so you know when we're live and you could be with us. And stroll over to our About page. We have our tip/donation button there. We also have the Patreon, which I will be adding 2 assets for the month for the mid-tier. And then if we do start to get more people signing up for the 20 a month tier, that's going to be an exclusive members only Discord show where you guys will be able to post up on Discord, and I'll do full critiques, project support, and we'll be doing starting to do painting lessons, so which will be amazing. So all that'll happen if you guys start to support that tier, so that we can get you. And I'm this close to getting merch out there for you guys. I'm working on all the graphics for everything, so it's been just a road of a process, but I'm gonna get there. So thank you all for watching as always, and I'll see you all at the next video. And I thank you guys for rating. Thank you Vera Kerr for rating with everyone. Woolet TV, thanks for jumping in and talking a little bit more. Oh, I didn't realize he had a question mark before. But yeah, thank you guys all for coming and hanging out with us. And I'm going to get some sleep because I got to get up for work tomorrow. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night if you come on back. All right, take care, everybody. See you at the